Hey y'all, hey, welcome to Tootie Talk Sense. Let me do my little audio checks first. Make sure y'all can hear and see me. Yes, you can. Okay, I'm in here a little early today, and I'm not gonna be on here long. Okay, so I want you a couple minutes early. How has y'all day went? Because in Chicago, the weather is now we raining. We may have a little bit of snow, and so the weather is is bipolar as Trump is right now. So I didn't get on here yesterday, y'all, because I was tagged and I was trying to complete my we didn't change around rooms in the house. So I'm trying to get this house all set up, whatever. But it's not there yet. But it's coming, okay? Then what else? What else? What y'all do today? Because I went to work. I had a lunch date with the hubby. Then I came home. I had to go grocery shop when I got off work, pick up a couple of things. Then I came home, had to take my baby to dance practice. And so now I'm here. And that was my day. I was tagged. I still want to go upstairs and finish doing some stuff in her room, trying to get it all together like the way she wanted. So we'll be there eventually. I'm giving y'all time to come on up in here. First, what I'm gonna do is talk. I think it was only like three things I was gonna go over yesterday. So I'm gonna run over those real quick. And the only thing I want to talk about from today is is Trump going back on them tariffs, and now he's gonna give it a 90-day pause, y'all. So let's pick up with yesterday. So yesterday, what the topic was supposed to be about was the judge now is allowing Trump to fire the 16,000 federal workers. Remember, he had fired when President Musk had went in there and fired the 16,000 federal workers, but they end up taking it to court because they like, you don't even work here. You ain't my supervisor. They like, how these people, these little college kids, and President Musk gonna come fire these people, fire federal workers? They're not even federal workers themselves. So how they gonna fire us is, and the president shouldn't have the authority to fire the federal workers, is what that side was saying. They took it to court. So then they took it to court. So the people wasn't allowed to go to work, but they were still getting paid. So I was like, I don't know how Doge is saving us money because now we're paying people to stay at home. So the judge then heard the case, and the judge then ruled that they can fire those 16,000 federal workers. So he won in court. Then he had another win technically. He The second win was about immigration, right? So he had, y'all know, he done made the what was it called? The Alien Enemies Act that he was using to deport all these people to El Salvador. In the last video, I had it wrong. I said Colombia, but it's El Salvador. That he's deporting these prisoners. That's so he picking them up and shipping them off to El Salvador. So the problem is, they were saying that that's illegal, that he can't do that without due process. He was using this act to be like almost like the Homeland Security doing the 9/11, where if you terrorists, a lot of your rights go out the window during that time. Okay, they're gonna put you in these camps, interrogate. You don't have to have the 24-hour, 48-hour holding thing go out the window. There's a lot of rules could go out the window when you was classified as a terrorist. So everyone was, there was a couple of cases in court about whether or not he can even use this act, because this act was not meant to be used for people here. This is for like other countries. Then the only time it was used, I want to say, for the Japanese camps is when it was used, the last time it was used. But people are saying it was illegal for him to use it the way he was using it. Now, he did win in that case, and that's why I said technically, because the Supreme Court did rule that he can use the act. And the only reason why I say it's a technical win is because they put up stipulations in order for him to use the act. So he can use it, but he can't use it without giving the people due process, which is what he was doing. He was just, it was ICE, him, whoever you want to say. They was just picking up people in the street, like, yeah, you're part of this gang. We can see and shipping people to El Salvador without no trial, without them fighting the case, nothing. So, see, Supreme Court have ruled, and they was doing that because, that's what he ran on. We're gonna, quickly get these illegal immigrants up out of here. So it is hard to gather as many immigrants, if he say, put them all through court and to ship them. So he was like, let's cut the middleman. Look like y'all in a game, and just picking people up and sending them over to El Salvador. So the Supreme Court ruled that he can use this act to send people over to El Salvador, but you can't do it without due process. So they do have the right to see a judge and to argue their case. So that's why I said it's a technical win. Now, did y'all see the mess? Now, this right here, this is hilarious. Y'all need to get some popcorn. Y'all need to, well, not even some popcorn, because you might choke on your popcorn. Because this right here, I said, you got to be shitting me right here. With all what's going on with the tariff, with the stock market crashing, and the question becomes like, what is this tariff war? Because why is Trump so gun ho on these tariffs? Because tariffs wasn't really talked about like that pre-Trump. So Rachel Maddow did a search on Trump and the origin of this tariff and what happened that he's so gun ho on the tariff, right? So you look at, well, first of all, Elon Musk and Peter Navarro is into it, right? President Musk, Peter Navarro, who is Trump, I want to say his financial advisor, that's who he is to Trump. So they're into it, and they going back and forth with words, calling each other idiots and stupid. Let me see. Can I find that show? I don't know if I can find it. I might look on you, but y'all don't need to see it. But they go. I mean, if y'all want to see it, y'all could just search it on YouTube. Elon Musk calls Navarro an idiot. So they're going back and forth calling each other idiots. The girls are into it. So then we go and see, because Navarro is the one who started this, who got Trump on tariffs, right? So the origin of the tariff is when he first ran for president, he didn't really have any like stands on how he's going to get money and, oh, I want to cut this, cut that. But, well, how are you going to get money? How are you going to fund the programs that you want? He really didn't have any ideas on, the finance of running the country. I'm sorry. His company's either, because he went bankrupt 6 times. But anyway, of running the country. So what he did was he had his son-in-law, tell him to, go find me somebody who knows about this stuff, who can come up with a plan for me, blah, blah, blah. So his son-in-law went and Googled. He on Amazon, and he's looking at, and he's looking at like books and stuff on Amazon. And one of the books was called like Death of China. And he's just like, oh, I really like that. So he went and got the author for that book and like, okay, I like your ideas in this book. So he became Donald Trump chief finance, over his finances. And this is where the tariffs came from, this book. So this man, Peter Navarro, had read all these books. And in these books, he keeps citing this expert named Ron Nova or something. I'm gonna let Rachel explain it, but this is the basis of it. So he keep in the book, he keep referencing Ron Nova. It's who he keep referencing as his expert for everything that he's saying in his book about terrorists and why it's going to work and how it's going to stabilize the economy, is because this expert Ron. So if people gonna look for Ron, baby, why Ron don't exist? Ron is Peter. It's his last name. He just reversed the letters on it. Oh, I say, you got to be kidding me. You have to be shitting me. No, Run is Peter. Peter is Run. So the expert he's citing is himself. And this is where the tariffs came from. Donald Trump, big idea of tariff, came from an author who cited a made-up expert, and the made-up expert was himself. So I'm going to let her explain it to y'all. I think it's around 6 minutes. Wait, let me make sure I didn't share it with you. Let me share it with y'all real quick. And this is from MSNBC YouTube page. So y'all can watch the whole thing there. The whole thing is about 12 minutes. It's not long. But I'm going to just play the part about the story behind the tariffs. Y'all see it?
In the first place? Do you remember like when and why and how we started talking about tariffs in the first place? It was in his first campaign for president. Trump didn't really have any formal economic advisors. So he told his son-in-law, Jared, to find him an economic advisor. Trump reportedly gave Jared some vague ideas of what his thoughts were on economic issues. You know, something, make me look tough, China bad, something. Jared then decided to find his father-in-law a financial advisor for his presidential campaign by going on the Amazon.com website and starting to browse books. Not like reading the books, because you can't do that on the Amazon website. He was just looking at the covers, looking at the titles. And he found a book title that he thought was so cool.
He found the economic advisor the way I picked out my madness bracket. I just looked at the uniform and I picked on what color I liked the best. That's how he found the economic advisor. That looks cute.
The title was Death by China. Oh my God, that's so cool. That's so awesome. And that apparently was it. Quote from Vanity Fair. Trump gave Jared a summary of his views and then asked him to do some research. Kushner simply went on Amazon, where he was struck by the title of one book, Death by China, co-authored by a man named Peter Navarro. Jared then cold called Navarro, a well-known trade deficit hawk who agreed to join the team as an economic advisor. Navarro was a major advocate for an aggressive pro-tariff policy. Where did Peter Navarro get his idea that tariffs would be a good policy for America? What was his backup for that conviction? Well, he did have backup from a real expert who he cited in at least a half dozen of his books, including the one that Jared found on Amazon that fateful day. In all of his books, Peter Navarro has cited an economics expert to justify his views. And the economics expert he cites is somebody named Ron Vera, V-A-R-A, Ron Vera. When Trump won the presidency and entered the White House, this Ron Vera started circulating a memo around Washington in support of Trump using tariffs in trade policy. According to the New York Times, the memo had been, quote, sent from an email address purportedly belonging to Ron Vera. At one point, Ron Vera wrote in the memo that Trump could, quote, ride the tariffs to victory. Problem is, Ron Vera doesn't exist. He never has. The economics expert that Peter Navarro has long cited to explain why he's so gung-ho on tariffs, this person, Ron Vera, is a made-up person. He is a fictional person. Peter Navarro invented Ron Vera as his expert source so he could quote this expert source over and over and over again in his crackpot books. Who is Ron Vera? Ron Vera is an anagram of Navarro, which is his last name.
Somebody told a lie one day.
My name anagrams to Macho Waddler, but I don't see myself trying to talk you into doing what Macho Waddler wants, right?
Navarro. Is Navarro last
But that
name?
really is how the Trump administration crafted its tariff policy. That's where Trump came up with the tariff idea. Circulating a fake memo from a fake person with a fake email address in order to make it look like this was a serious issue being debated by real experts. That is the intellectual basis on which Donald Trump today wiped $6 trillion of wealth out of existence and crashed America's markets and brought America and the world to the brink of a self-inflicted, on-purpose, global Great Depression along the lines of what we had in 2008 and what the pandemic inflicted upon us in 2020. This time, the global disaster is Donald Trump's big brain.
Yeah. So that's according to Rachel. This is how the this is how this big tariff then that that Donald Trump is insisted on. This is where he got the idea to, his alliance to Peter Navarro, who cited Ron Vera, who is Peter Navarro. I don't know why he got alliance to these people, but
you having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
Yeah, I can't. Why should you don't want to talk about this? This should be on the news everywhere. No, it's not the economic advisor, someone who made it up their own expert to cite what they felt was right, what they feel like it should be. Okay, yeah. So let's just talk about what's going on today. So today, matter of fact, well, it wasn't yesterday. I wasn't on here yesterday. The day before. So they had to be Monday. Monday, I was talking to y'all about how the stock markets had, been on the decline since, Trump and these tariff wars. Well, tariff he was lobbying against the other countries. So the stock market been down. So then it had went up. And everybody like, oh, what's going on? It went up and then went right back down. It went up for like a minute, went right back down. So what happened was that somebody had misquoted a news source. His last name was Bloomberg. And because he had the blue check that he paid for monthly, people thought it was Bloomberg, this financial conglomerate, and it wasn't. It was a guy named Bloomberg. But Bloomberg had posted that President Trump was going to pause the tariff. The White House came back and said, we ain't pausing the tariff. I don't know where y'all getting it from. It's fake news. So then the stock market went back down. Lo and behold, today, I can exit out this. Lo and behold, today, Donald Trump have announced that he's pausing the tariff for 90 days. He's pausing the tariff for any country who didn't do reciprocal tariff against the U.S. So, and the way they're wording it is like, if y'all didn't come out the U.S. when we put tariff on y'all, then y'all safe. Because we told y'all when we started with these tariffs, just be easy, don't do nothing, and you're going to be rewarded. So all the countries who didn't do nothing or who is calling Trump right now, who's trying to work out a deal, then we're going to pause the tariff on y'all for 90 days. But China, bring that ass here, boy, 125% tariff on China. Yeah, so that's what happened today. So now the stock market is going back up because Donald Trump said he's pausing the tariff on 90 days. Why you couldn't announce your tariff and what each country would get and then give it a 90-day waiting period instead of doing this and the stock market going down, stock market going up? Like, y'all been playing in y'all face. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. That's what he's doing right now to the stock market. Don't touch your brother. And the list of stuff like that. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. That's what he's doing right now. So China, he put 125% tariff on China, and the rest of the countries who didn't put a tariff on the U.S. is at the 10% that he had started with. And they're on a 90-day pause to see if he's going to go back to the other tariff that he said he was going to do. So even though he said he wasn't, when it was fake news, when somebody else posted he was going to pause it for 90 days, 2 days ago, now 2 days later, he coming out saying he pausing it for 90 days. And y'all welcome. Yeah, I told y'all I'm not gonna be on here long today. That was it for me today. Like the video. I'm quite sure by the time I get off here, it looks like it's some breaking news right now. By the time I get off here, it's gonna be some more other stuff that comes. And I'll be back tomorrow, 4:45. Same time, same place. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this 90-day pause, okay? I will catch y'all next time. Bye.